Okay guys, today I got something a bit different for you. My bike's in for a first service today, 600 mile service on the Multistrada, so they've given me a loan bike, which is a Hyperstrada. First impression, as soon as I stepped on it, how small it was compared to the Multistrada. It feels like a toy, seriously. It's a decent looking bike. It's the kind of urban commuter version of the Hypermotard, so it would come with the soft panniers, the screen, the centre stand. I think that's about it. Yeah, if you're a big guy, I'm reasonably sized, 6'2", sort of 14 stone. It does feel small. You feel like you're sitting on the tank. Having said that, it's a Ducati. It's a great bike to actually ride. The mechanics of it, it's really good. Gearbox is quite nice. Brakes, they're Brembo, but there's just not as much power and as much feel as on the Multistrada for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's got the same. I'm not sure it's got the same. Probably not the same size discs, but it's got the Brembo calipers. It's got the ABS system. I don't think it's quite the same Bosch ABS system as on the Multistrada. They work okay, but the ones on the Multistrada are exceptionally good brakes. Size-wise, when I reading the statistics on the website, I thought this was going to be a tall bike, but to me it doesn't feel tall at all. The Multistrada feels a lot taller. They may have the low seat on this one as well, as it's the demonstrator, and they may have jacked the suspension right down, but it does feel very, very, very low. I mean, I thought it was supposed to be 820 or 850 millimeter seat height. I think the Multistrada is 850, so this is supposed to be less. But it feels a lot less. It feels very small. It feels very thin. Obviously, it is a lot. Hypermotard style is a lot thinner on the tank, and the riding position for me is just not right. I feel like I'm scrunched right over the handlebars, right over the tank. But if I hadn't just come from the Multistrada, which is a very big bike, very big tank, very sort of upright, very backward seating position, maybe I wouldn't feel quite so bad. The other thing that does annoy me, as I'm quite tall, and I feel like I'm sitting far forward. When I want to look down at the speedo, my normal glance down only shows me the top of this screen. I have to physically look right down to see it, and that's not good. I'm really taking my eyes off the road to look at the dash. On the Multistrada, it sort of feel like it's here somewhere, and it's tiny glance down, and it's in your line of sight. Having said that, it's a good dashboard if I switch it on. Hopefully you can get it on there. One thing I do miss is the gear position indicator and the fuel gauge from the Multistrada. That would be nice to have back. But you've got the same sort of menu system for the trips on this side. Oh, trips that side, sorry, and information there. And you hold it down, and then you're in the menu, and you can adjust the various settings of the system, and also, most importantly, the riding modes. You can configure the 3: sport, touring, urban. So if I go into sport, I have to go into touring, so I haven't been in there yet, and it's telling me the traction control's on 4, the ABS is on 2, the engine's on medium, which is the 110 horsepower with sort of gentle progressive throttle response. There's 3 modes, I think. It's the low power mode is 75 horsepower gentle throttle response, and you use that around town. They have that defaulted into the urban mode. Yeah, the medium mode is 110 horsepower, sort of gentle progressive throttle response, and the top one is the 110 horsepower with a nice sporty throttle response. And you can program each of the 3 riding modes, which you change with the indicator cancel button as you're going along. You program each mode with your favourite ABS settings. I think there's only 3 on this: off, 1 and 2. On the Multistrada there's off, 1, 2 and 3. I think there's 6 or 8 traction control levels on this, same as the Multistrada, so that's quite nice. Key operated on this one, you don't get the same smart key system wireless that you get on the Multistrada, but it's fine. It's usual controls, but on this one, if you hold it to the left, you get the hazards on, and as you're riding along, you press the button, and you might be able to see on the screen, you get sport, touring, urban. You can select as you're riding along, and you just have to, close the throttle, release the brakes for a fraction of a second, then it changes the mode as you're riding. Obviously on this one there isn't the electronic suspension that I've got on the Multistrada, so it's manually adjustable with the knob there. What else can I say? It's 821cc, 110 horsepower, so in most situations that's more than enough. Obviously coming from the Multistrada, the 1200 with 150 horsepower and lots of torque, this it obviously doesn't feel as good, and you do have to give it revs from a standstill, whereas the Multistrada will just pull from nothing. The screen doesn't adjust on this. I thought they did. Obviously on the Multistrada you have a push-pull. Another criticism would be the mirrors. They're absolutely tiny. Obviously the Multistrada mirrors are exceptional. They are the best motorcycle mirrors I've ever come across. They, the view they give you behind is incredible. And these are just tiny. I mean, the Multistrada mirrors are probably that big, but they don't sort of seem obtrusive. I mean, these I struggle to see past my elbows. They're no worse than some motorbike mirrors. They're probably better than a lot, but it's strange that when you're used to the Multistrada ones, which are so good. Yeah, it's difficult to compare really. So you've got the handguards, screen which doesn't adjust, got the little beaky thing. Have a little walk round. It's a bit dirty. 6-speed. The exhaust note is actually pretty good. It's kind of, it's a standard Canon there, but it's kind of raucous, a bit raw. Does make you feel a bit of a hooligan. Yeah, it's nice. The only thing for me is it's just too small and too cramped. I mean, that may be because of my size. I'm fairly large. I'm not overly large though, so I mean, somebody 6'5", 6'6", they'd feel stupid on this. I feel a bit stupid. I do feel a bit like I'm perched on top, and I'm only 6'1", 6'2". I mean, it's probably just because I've literally stepped off the Multistrada and onto this, so it's bound to feel funny. If you just come off the street and try to say, it wouldn't feel so bad. Right, well, I suppose we can start it up and let it run so you can hear the exhaust. So you just wait for the display to do its business. We're not in neutral, so I'll sort that out. And I'll give it a run. If I try and put it in the sport and see if it's any different. Yeah, it's much more instant throttle response. Come around this side, you can have a listen. Pretty good. Well, so I've been on the Multistrada for an hour or so now, and got to say it's a great bike. I'm kind of getting used to the size of it now. It's got over the initial shock of it feeling it's quite so small. Yeah, I mean, as a bike, it's fantastic. It does everything really well. There's plenty of poke, there's plenty of grunt, manoeuvrable as hell. You can flick it around as much as you like. No, it's really good. I'm impressed. I don't know how much these ones are. It's sort of about 8, 9, 10, something like that. But no, it's really good. I mean, even in the 75 horsepower mode like I'm in now, there's plenty of go to it. For everyday riding, around town, it's pretty damn good. Kind of got used to the riding position a bit now. I still don't like the fact I have to really look down to see the speedo. I mean, I really take all my eyes fully off the road to look at the speedo, and that can't be a good thing, really, can it? I miss having a gear position indicator, but again, it's not necessarily just a luxury, really, isn't it? Yeah, no, good bike. If I'd bought one of these, I'd be well happy with it. I probably wouldn't have bought one though, purely because of the size. That's really my only issue. Well, not my only issue. It's my main issue. This is Eric Booser's favourite roundabout. Roundabout with 5 roundabouts on it. Completely pointless. Yeah, don't worry, it's just a roundabout, I'm fine. Yeah, it's a decent little bike. Decent bike. I mean, I don't know how good the screen is. I think I'd prefer the Hypermotard version, really. I mean, it looks a bit sort of sporty. I mean, you do get the screen on this and the panniers, but they're only kind of soft bag panniers. They're not proper panniers or anything, so what they're worth I don't really know. Well, I mean, it's handy if you got some stuff to transport in, but I wouldn't want to leave my helmet in them all day or anything like that, like you would in a full hard pannier. Could do with heated grips. I don't think this one's got heated grips. One thing I do like on my multi is the heated grips. I've got no idea where I am now. I'm lost. So I'll let the sat nav take me where it wants to take me.